MedMen, a multi-state cannabis company known as the Apple Store of Weed, has suddenly shuttered its West Hollywood location. Staff were given less than 24 hours notice that they would soon be unemployed, and customers arrived at the dispensary Wednesday to see locked doors and empty shelves. News comes as layoffs on the corporate level continue. According to MJ Biz Daily, the California company let several accounting and marketing team members go last week. Elizabeth Udell, a former MedMen corporate employee, was troubled by the news, calling the closure very sad. Quote, MedMen WeHo was one of the original 4 medical dispensaries and has been through so much, Udell told Green State, attributing the company's downfall to fast spending in a high-pressure industry. West Hollywood Mayor John Erickson had less sympathy for the dispensary chain, expressing frustration at the closure of the WeHo store. Quote, it's disappointing to see how MedMen left our community. MedMen left their employees high and dry with no notice, Erickson said via email. I'm startled by the continual treatment of employees by multiple businesses that continue to expand and line the pockets of their investors versus taking care of their employees. The WeHo store closure is yet another blow for the struggling weed retailer, which saw its shares fall to a value of 0 in mid-January. Once valued at $1.6 billion, MedMen was on top of its game less than 6 years ago, but signs of trouble soon emerged. The company did not meet early sales projections and quickly racked up tens of millions in debt. Reports of questionable business practices and overspending by MedMen executives led to the resignation of several C-suite members in April 2019. The company was even lampooned on a now iconic episode of South Park. Many believe MedMen is heading into receivership, a legal scenario that allows businesses to restructure assets to avoid bankruptcy or liquidation. According to unverified Securities and Exchange Commission filings posted on Reddit, the company has allegedly retained a consultant to identify MedMen's assets and figure out the best way to monetize said assets in order to optimize cash proceeds. The consultant has also been directed to, quote, develop and execute a plan for the orderly wind down of company affairs and operations. The company pulled out of Nevada and Arizona at the end of 2023, selling its assets to Mint Cannabis. As reported by SFGate, trading of MedMen stock ceased in early January after Canadian regulators found the retailer had repeatedly failed to file financial reports. Suspension also led to a delisting of the publicly traded company from the Canadian Securities Exchange. The closing of the WeHo MedMen store and continuing corporate layoffs could be a sign of what's to come for the troubled cannabis company. The company's CEO exited her position earlier this month after only 6 months on the job. Despite high hopes early on, the dispensary's dreams of weed domination have seemingly gone up in smoke. So Rochelle Gordon reporting for Green State on the High at 9 News. What do you guys think about this? And thank you, Jason, for setting me up with the WeHo mayor. That was awesome.
Oh man, this is, oh man, MedMen. Oh man, this is such a problem. Like all of a sudden, I got a text and it's like MedMen's closed, and with the pictures of the doors closed and that they had no more inventory on the shelves, and I was just like, man, oh man, someone needs to get over there.
Well, bankruptcy isn't available, guys. Okay, You can't run in, and if I'm a creditor to MedMen, I want to know how am I getting paid. I mean, our firm does this. We work with one of the only cannabis specific receivers in the state, and it is a mess because a lot of these companies are upside down, and since you can't go to bankruptcy, you got to find a way to get rid of assets and get some of the debts off your books officially, which was what receivership's all about. You can assign assets to certain creditors, and then they sign waivers of any future debt and things like that. That's how you try to do it short of bankruptcy. But we also try to get in ahead of time and work out a deal to assign ahead of time to creditors, and they agree to accept certain assets. But this is a mess. MedMen has nobody else to blame but themselves for this, because they went out and the guys running this were buying BMWs for their girlfriends and just all sorts of stupid shit like that. The next thing you know, they got tens of millions of debt, And the sugar daddies are like, you've tapped me. I'm not giving you any more. Now what do you do?
Yeah.
And in our state, we try to take these in. How do we figure this out? Because the debt side is huge. The asset side's relatively small. And you're telling me you're going to take 10 cents on the dollar of $1 million debt? You got your own bills to pay. That's how complicated this stuff gets to unwind. Just a mess.
Yes, this is a big mess, and I'm wondering. I know their MedMen store closed, but I didn't hear anything in regards to their other Los Angeles locations, whether or not those were open or not. I'm only aware of the West Hollywood closure, but I do know too that there's that if this store is closed, MedMen could have a whole new host of problems, Dale. Because the West Hollywood location, they have a management agreement with the Pharmacy Collective for that to be a MedMen store. And so if they're closed for more than 60 days, then they lose the license. It goes away, can't be, gone after. And so if that does happen, wouldn't Pharmacy Collective possibly have some type of legal claim against MedMen for mismanagement?
Well, I would have to read the management services agreement, and if I'm not going on a limb here telling you that if I was involved, I would set every one of these up as a separate corporation and have them connected by contract. So if one goes under, the rest aren't. But these management service agreements that I've done have automatic defaults. Who takes back over the license or is in a position to run it, and then have transfer of ownership. And Jason, in this state, we do a 2-step transfer of ownership. So there's things built into this to transfer the license back to somebody else and have that be a reality. But this is just going to be a mess. And if anybody looking to get into the business that's not looking at this going, holy shit, I can't go buy my girlfriend a BMW and spend a month on the Mediterranean. No, you got a business to run. Pay attention to running your business, or the downside, there's just nothing good about this. A lot of people are going to lose their ass. The employees are all out. Okay.
Yeah, the employees.
The people who have debts of the millions of dollars, how do you collect that money? First of all, why are you stupid enough to keep giving people credit when they're not paying you? That's what, when I shut the door, it's like, listen, you dumbass, why in the fuck did you run up another $1 million worth of debt when they owe you $1 million? Did your mama drop you on your head when you were a kid? What the hell's wrong with you? Of course, they don't like me, and if you want me to lie to you, I charge you twice my rate. Sit down, shut up, let your butt pucker a little bit, and learn how to run a business, you dumbass. Oh man. It irritates me.
Yeah,
Get him, Dale.
Tio Loco.
Get him, Dale.
Tio Loco.
Yeah. When I put my lawyer hat on, I ain't there to be your friend. You're paying me a lot of money to tell you where you fucked up, buddy, and I'll draw charts and arrows.
Yep.
Okay? Because we got to fix this problem. And you just ran your train off the tracks.
And we definitely do want to thank Mayor John Erickson for providing that quote and some insight on this. We do appreciate it, and he is a viewer of High at 9 News, so we appreciate your support, Mayor Erickson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Anybody else want to comment on
MedMen, bro?